Genes, ever wonder why some people wake up singing while others need 3 alarms and a prayer? Your DNA might be writing the script. Scientists found specific genes that literally control your baseline mood. Think of it like your brain came with pre-installed software, except you can't uninstall it or get a refund. Some people got the happiness edition, others got the trial version that expires every Monday. One gene called 5-HTTLPR determines how your brain handles serotonin, the happy chemical. Short version: you might be naturally more anxious. Long version: you're probably the annoyingly optimistic friend everyone secretly envies. You'd think we all start equal, but nope. Some folks are genetically wired to see rainbows, while others see rain with a chance of existential dread. And that's why your mom saying, "just cheer up," never actually worked. Your DNA was too busy writing a different story. Serotonin is basically your brain's mood DJ, and some people got better equipment. This chemical messenger keeps you feeling balanced, happy, and not wanting to fight strangers in traffic. But here's the kicker: your genes control how much your brain produces and how well it uses it. Imagine having a Ferrari engine, but someone installed bicycle brakes. That's what happens when your serotonin transport genes aren't cooperating. Some people naturally produce serotonin like a factory on overtime, cruising through life with inexplicable joy. Others are running on fumes, wondering why everyone else seems so freaking delighted about Tuesday. You'd think evolution would have ironed out this bug by now, but instead, we got genetic lottery tickets. Some won the jackpot, others got a coupon for mild disappointment. Scientists can actually see these differences in brain scans, watching serotonin move around like a very important tiny taxi service. And that's why some people need antidepressants, while others are out here naturally high on life, like it's a personality trait. Dopamine is your brain's reward system. The reason you feel good after literally anything enjoyable. But your genes decide if you're getting premium rewards or generic brand satisfaction. The DRD for gene variant, nicknamed the adventure gene, makes some people crave constant stimulation and novelty. These are the folks bungee jumping on weekends while you're excited about new socks. Meanwhile, others have dopamine receptors that work like a broken vending machine, needing way more input to feel the same buzz. You scroll through your phone for hours because your brain is desperately searching for that dopamine hit, like a prospector panning for gold. Some people get a dopamine rush from organizing their closet, living their best life on minimal input. You'd think natural selection would favor the easily satisfied, but here we are. Some people needing skydiving, while others peak at a good sandwich. This explains why your friend can't sit still and you're perfectly content watching paint dry. Different dopamine recipes, same confused existence. And that's why some people are addicted to everything, while others are just addicted to routine and mild excitement. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and some people's genes produce it like they're preparing for the apocalypse daily. This chemical is supposed to help you handle threats, but your DNA might have the sensitivity settings cranked to maximum paranoia. Imagine your stress response was designed by someone who thinks every email notification is a potential disaster. That's what happens when you inherit certain variants of the NR3C1 gene. Some people face actual emergencies with the calm of a meditation instructor, their cortisol barely registering. Others panic over minor inconveniences like their toast burning, full stress response activated. You'd think our bodies would have evolved better threat detection, but instead, some of us treat Mondays like natural disasters. Your genes literally determine if you're chill or living in permanent fight or flight mode over things like grocery shopping. Scientists found that people with hyperactive cortisol genes are basically walking stress factories, manufacturing anxiety from thin air. And that's why some people thrive under pressure while you're over here stressed about being stressed, creating a beautiful cycle of genetic irony. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, sounds fancy, but it's basically fertilizer for your brain cells. Your genes control how much you produce, and this matters more than you'd think for mood. People with high BDNF are out here growing new neural connections like they're gardening, adapting to stress like champions. Low BDNF, your brain's more like a desert where thoughts go to struggle. This protein helps your neurons communicate and survive, kind of like social skills but for brain cells. Some people won the genetic lottery and produce BDNF abundantly. Their brain's plastic and resilient, bouncing back from bad days like rubber. Others got the budget version, where every stressful event leaves a mark, like someone drawing on a whiteboard with permanent marker. You'd think all brains would come equally equipped. But nature said, let's make this interesting, and gave everyone different instruction manuals. Exercise increases BDNF, which is why gym people are insufferably happy and keep telling you about it. And that's why some folks mentally recover from setbacks in hours while you're still processing that awkward conversation from 2019. COMT, the COMT gene, controls how fast your brain breaks down dopamine, basically determining if you're a worrier or a warrior. Fast COMT means dopamine disappears quickly from your prefrontal cortex, making you stress-prone but great under pressure. Slow COMT, you're probably anxious about everything but absolutely brilliant at complex thinking when life is calm. It's like having a brain that's either a sports car or a luxury sedan, both useful but in completely different scenarios. People with fast COMT stay cool during emergencies because their brains don't hold on to stress chemicals, flushing them out like efficient plumbing. Slow COMT folks ruminate beautifully, thinking deep thoughts, but also replaying every embarrassing moment from 5th grade. You'd think one version would be clearly superior, but evolution kept both, because apparently diversity is more important than anyone's mental peace. This explains why some people thrive in chaos, while others need everything perfectly planned or they malfunction. Your genes literally decided if you're the calm crisis manager or the overthinker who plans contingencies for contingencies. And that's why personality tests exist, trying to categorize what your COMT gene already determined before you were born. MAOA, monoamine oxidase, nicknamed the warrior gene, sounds like something from a superhero movie, but it's just about breaking down neurotransmitters. Low-activity versions make some people more aggressive and impulsive, especially after childhood stress. High-activity MAOA means you're probably more emotionally stable, breaking down mood chemicals efficiently like a well-oiled machine. Think of it like having an anger management system, except yours might be very defective. People with low MAOA activity can be incredible risk-takers and leaders, or extremely volatile, depending on literally everything else in their life. You'd think genes would be simple on-off switches, but this one's more like a dimmer switch someone installed backwards. Scientists found this gene variant more common in violent criminals, but also in successful entrepreneurs. Proving genetics without context means absolutely nothing. Some people got the version that makes them passionate and driven, others got the same gene but with childhood trauma, and now everyone's concerned. This is why nature versus nurture debates exist. Because your genes loaded the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. Or doesn't. And that's why identical twins can turn out completely different despite having the same genetic instruction manual. Your circadian rhythm genes determine if you're a morning person or a night owl. And yes, this absolutely affects your mood. The PER3 gene comes in long and short versions, basically deciding if you're functional at dawn or if mornings are your personal hell. Long version, you probably wake up naturally at 6 a.m., annoyingly cheerful and productive. Short version, you're writing your best work at 2 a.m. while everyone else sleeps like normal humans. Society decided morning people are virtuous and night owls are lazy, completely ignoring that genetics wrote this script. You'd think we'd have adapted to 9 to -5 schedules by now. But your DNA is still living in prehistoric times with different preferences. Some people's melatonin production starts at 9 p.m., others at 2 a.m. And employers act like this is a personal choice rather than biology. Research shows forcing night owls into morning schedules literally damages their mental health. But capitalism doesn't care about your PER3 gene variant. And that's why Monday mornings feel like cruel punishment for some, while others are out here eating breakfast and exercising before sunrise like psychopaths. Inflammation, chronic inflammation, isn't just physical. Your genes control inflammatory responses that directly affect your brain and mood. Certain variants in cytokine genes mean your immune system overreacts to stress, flooding your body with inflammatory markers that make you feel depressed. It's like your body's alarm system is so sensitive that normal life triggers it, creating a constant state of low-level emergency. Some people's genes keep inflammation beautifully controlled, their immune systems discerning and measured. Others got the version that treats a bad day like a bacterial infection, full inflammatory response activated. You'd think evolution would have debugged this, But instead, some of us are walking around with immune systems that confuse sadness with the flu. Scientists discovered that depression and inflammation share biological pathways, meaning your mood might be your immune system's fault. People with high inflammation genes are more likely to develop depression, anxiety, and that general feeling of existing wrong. And that's why anti-inflammatory diets actually help some people's mental health. Because apparently your mood was just inflammation wearing a disguise this whole time. Oxytocin, the oxytocin receptor gene, OXTR, determines how socially connected you feel and how much you trust other humans. Some variants make you naturally warm and trusting, bonding easily like you came pre-programmed for friendship. Other versions, you're probably more suspicious and independent, finding deep connection exhausting rather than fulfilling. Think of it like your brain's social settings, except they're hardware, not software, and you can't just update them. People with sensitive oxytocin receptors get massive mood boosts from social interaction, literally needing human connection like it's oxygen. Others are perfectly content alone, their brains not particularly moved by the presence of other people, living their best hermit life. You'd think social bonding would be universally programmed since we're pack animals. But genetics said variety is interesting and made everyone different. This explains why some people are devastated by alone time, while others are devastated by mandatory team-building exercises. Your genes decided if hugs feel amazing or vaguely threatening. If you're the group chat enthusiast or the person who leaves on read, and that's why just be more social advice falls flat when your OXTR gene is literally built different from the person giving that advice.